This is your WWE WrestleMania 35 review. My thoughts overall on WrestleMania 35. And before I get into everything that was Dorkmania, that's what I've been calling it throughout the entire weekend, it feels so good to be back home. As you guys know, I was gone for the last couple of days. I was in New York for WrestleMania weekend. I just got back home. Literally, I shit you not, a couple hours ago. And it feels good to be back in the comfort of my own home. I think for a lot of people, I don't know how it is, but for me at least, I can appreciate being back home after days of being away from home. I guess when you go on vacation and you come back after a week or so, you can actually appreciate the confines of your own home. Even though a lot of us wish we can, go out and, do stuff and travel out and all that shit. But I had a fun time overall the whole weekend. I did some vlogs. I'm fully aware that still parts 3 and 4 are still not up yet. I'll have those up by the end of this week. I have a lot of stuff to do this week as a whole. I got WrestleMania 35 review to do. I have to do a review of G1 Supercard. I still got to do, again, parts 3 and 4 of the vlogs. And tonight, Raw, once Raw comes off the air. I know I'm doing this an hour before Raw after Mania happens, so I'm getting this out of the way now. So for all of you out there, the grind still doesn't stop. But like I said, I'm so happy to finally be back home. I have my webcam actually now on a tripod. So if I'm looking at the camera differently or wrongly, again, bear with me. Again, the webcam is now on a tripod that I bought for my vlog camera. Now that I'm back home, I'm going to use it now for a tripod for the webcam. So if I'm looking at something differently or shit like that, just, again, bear with me as we get through this. Overall, WrestleMania 35, for me at least, I've heard a lot of people's reviews, heard a lot of people's thoughts on the show. And this is coming from someone that was actually in the building or in the stadium, if you will, at MetLife Stadium. And I thought overall, was it a bad WrestleMania? No. Did it wipe the bad taste from WrestleMania 29 from 6 years ago? Yes, it did. Will I say, oh my God, this was the best WrestleMania of all time? No. Did it have its good moments? Absolutely. When what needed to happen happened, it was good, it was great, awesome. And then there were parts of the show, well, I'll even admit, it took a nosedive. Overall, I'll give this WrestleMania, I'll give it a B-. I'll give it a B- going into a C. But a C going into a B-. All right, let's just give the show a B- for the fuck of it, just getting a B-. I felt like, again, getting there, all that was great. I'll say this, though, and again, I'm going to just say this, and you guys might have heard me say this before. I'll just say it again anyway. I think it's great that I live in the Northeast, where we are the most passionate fan base for wrestling. Whether it's, again, you're from New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Boston, Baltimore, you get the idea, okay? Rhode Island, New Hampshire, what have you. Again, we are the most passionate fan base for wrestling. That being said, we should not be hosting a WrestleMania. We should not be hosting a WrestleMania until a city decides to build a stadium with a dome. Overall, again, I thought it was great that it came back to my town or my state, if you will, after 6 years. But I'm going to say this right now. We should not be hosting a Mania. It was a struggle to get out of MetLife Stadium. Literally, me and Walter did not get back to New York, to our apartment that we rented for the weekend, till like almost 4 a.m. And the show ended at 12. NJ Transit was a fucking clusterfuck, believe it or not. And this comes from someone that lives in Jersey and for years and years and years have traveled through with NJ Transit to get to where I needed to get on the train. So for those of you out there that have gone on the train from through NJ Transit to go to the stadium and back, I feel your pain. I really, really do. But let's get on to the whole thing. Fun little fact, myself and Walter missed the entire kickoff show because we had issues trying to get into the stadium. I did miss Tony Nese beating Buddy Murphy for the Cruiserweight Championship. I missed Carmella winning the Women's Battle Royal, or I'm sorry, the Snickers Memorial Battle Royal. I'm not really sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, or I actually feel bad that I missed it, but you kind of get the idea. I missed Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins beating the Revival. Apparently, Hawkins played possum and caught Scott Dawson in a small package to win the match, win the tag team championships, and end his losing streak. Which is good for him. It kind of made sense, really. But don't be surprised. Again, it's still 7:15 p.m. as I'm doing this recording. Raw hasn't happened yet. I do predict that tonight they do drop the titles back to the Revival. But that's my honest opinion. I also missed Braun Strowman winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Apparently, during this match, Michael Shea and Colin Jost hid under the ring for the entire match and only got back in the very end when it looked like they could eliminate Strowman. And here's the thing about it, too. When it's the only storyline in the entire match, I mean, it's there. The writing's there. Like, come on. You can't sit there and tell me that, oh my God, you didn't think Braun Strowman wasn't going to win. You have to be a dumb fuck if you really thought that Braun Strowman was not going to fucking win. Let's keep it 100 on that, okay? But that was the kickoff show. Again, I missed it. It is what it is. We opened up with Alexa Bliss introducing Hulk Hogan, who made a joke about how he would call the arena the wrong thing. He referred to MetLife Stadium being the Silverdome, and actually, he called it the wrong thing again. He called it MetLife Center. So much to remind Hulk that, hey, you're in MetLife Stadium, not MetLife Center. But it is what it is. And then Hogan got the usual shtick. What you gonna do, brother, when Hulkamania, WrestleMania, Alexa Bliss run wild on you and shit like that. He literally posed with Alexa Bliss. Out comes Paul Heyman. And Heyman says, you know what? If Brock Lesnar isn't closing the show, then he wants his business done now because apparently they got your private jet to Las Vegas for some ultimate caring, some shit like that, ultimate attention. Just referencing the UFC in general. So, this match kicked off the show officially. Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. I think, honestly, it's a good way to kick off the show. Granted, another year where the Rumble winner doesn't get its respect. Usually, I remember at a time, when you win the Royal Rumble, you go on to main event WrestleMania. Granted, Becky won this Rumble, so that's fine and dandy too. So, it's kind of weird. It's kind of hard now. You have two Rumble winners, but it is what it is. I guess, you want the kick to show off with the fucking banger, so why the hell not? And if that kind of gave you also an indication that, oh my God, Seth Rollins was going to win. And he did. Lesnar brutally attacked Rollins before the match, throwing him around the ringside area into the announce table. And you can see these welts on Rollins' back. These giant welts. Like, oh my God, this guy was taking a fucking beating. And Rollins got hit the low blow on Lesnar during a ref bump. And then hit 3 curb stomps to win the match. So again, the purpose was there. Rollins got the win. And I'll be real about it. When this happened, okay, this is great. Awesome. Rollins is now the Universal Champion. Pretty sure he'll be facing Roman Reigns somewhere down the road. But I think with Brock, I think he's going to go to UFC. Or MMA, I'm sorry. Fight Daniel Cormier. I don't know when that'll happen. But I think once that's settled, he'll come back to WWE. But again, only time will tell. But I thought, again, this was a good way to kick off the show. We then had a match between AJ Styles and Randy Orton. I actually did enjoy the match for what it was. What kind of sucked, though, what pissed me off, not really pissed me off, but I guess, being there in the moment all you want. People in the crowd were chanting to turn off the lights because they had these giant yellow lights just beaming at everybody, right? And lucky where me and Walter sat, we didn't have that issue, but apparently people were chanting, turn off the lights, what have you, into different chants. I can understand why, too. I guess you want no light in your face. But I think also, as the sun went down, I guess they had to put on the lights to get more brightness into the stadium. But I think also too, and I'll say this, it got dark really fast. I noticed that. I remember 6 years ago, it was like 6 p.m. or it was 7 p.m. and it was still Miz versus Wade Barrett for the Intercontinental title, and it was still daylight. And I remember when Mania started, I could have sworn it started at 7 at that time period as well. I could be wrong on that. And it was Shield versus Orton, Big Show, and Sheamus, and it was still daylight. And this was just now, we go back 6 years after, WrestleMania 35, and it's the second match on the card, and it's starting to get really dark. I'm like, holy crap. They're prolonging shit now. Granted, this match went longer than it needed to go. And again, just people trying to turn off the lights and this and that. It took away from the match a little bit. But I thought for what they did was okay. Styles won with a phenomenal forearm, but was caught by a position for an RKO. And then countered that by dropping off the ropes, and then Styles hit a phenomenal forearm to win the match. And again, it was a good, decent back and forth match. I'll say that these guys could definitely do better, in my opinion. That's just my honest opinion. Take it for what it's worth. But I do feel like this is more than just one match. They'll probably have another match, probably this Tuesday on SmackDown, or if not, on the next pay-per-view. But guys, give me your thoughts on that. What do you see happening now for someone like a Randy or an AJ Styles? Guys, give me those in the comments below and your thoughts overall on WrestleMania 35 and all that fun stuff. Lacey Evans showed up and, as always, just walked up and did nothing again. I'm pretty sure that tonight on Raw, because again, tonight is Raw after Mania, after all, and tonight she might say something finally. We'll wait and see. We had the Fatal 4-Way for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. We had the Usos versus the Bar of Sheamus and Cesaro, Rusev and Nakamura. My oh my, how the mighty's fallen here. And Ricochet and Aleister Black. Ironically, it was dark enough for Aleister Black and Ricochet to do their entrances and shit like that. Which, by the way, got the most out of their entrances at WrestleMania. Again, I'm not sure if this caught on the network, but in the stadium, a lot of them were coming in through the side, not through the actual entrance itself. But it is what it is. This match, for what it was, I thought it was actually pretty solid. Everyone got their usual shit in. I feel like Ricochet belonged in there. He really came out like the MVP of the match, in my opinion, even though he didn't win. Aleister Black as well, in some regard. But everyone got their usual spots in here. The Usos retained the championship after a double super kick into a double top rope splash on Sheamus. So you don't pin Ricochet or Aleister Black. You still make them look strong. Remember, they did double duty. This past Friday, they were in TakeOver New York, wrestling the War Raiders for the NXT Tag titles, and they didn't win there. So now they're officially part of the main roster. So let's see what happens either today or if not tomorrow on SmackDown. I get the feeling though I think they're gonna be part of the SmackDown brand. Honestly, this is me, of course. I wouldn't have them as a tag team. I can understand why you had them as a tag team, just to do something until you can find something for them to do individually on the main roster. But I don't think they need to be a tag team. You can have Aleister Black on Monday Night Raw, or Ricochet on SmackDown Live, or vice versa, and be fine with that as well. But then we get after this the Hall of Fame class where they were all being honored. I did see the clip of apparently some dickhead, some piece of shit, wanting to attack Bret Hart at the ceremony. Honestly, I hope the guy is never allowed at any wrestling event ever again in his life. Just fuck that guy, seriously. We then get the Falls Count Anywhere match, Shane versus The Miz. I thought this match, for what it really was, it turned out to be a very good match. I enjoyed it. In a match that, again, involved the interferences from apparently The Miz's dad. Because a moment in the match where Shane takes out The Miz, and it looked like he's about to do his usual, just dive up the top rope onto the announce table. And Miz is just laying on this announce table. And Miz's dad, who's at ringside, sitting there in the front row, comes out, is literally in the middle of Miz laying there on the table, and Shane ready to make his jump. Shane has Miz's dad come into the ring for a fight, but to no avail, because again, Shane just beat the fuck out of Miz's dad. Miz got angry. It got more intense after that. they fought into the crowd, which I do commend them for, because I think, again, you make the best out of this false count anywhere, right? They're fighting into the crowd, right? There's a moment where they're climbing up these giant scaffolds, right? And they're on top of this damn thing, right? And everyone's going, oh my God, it's going to be crazy. And they do a superplex off top of a scaffold, right? And I guess in this whole thing, again, it was Miz who suplexed, Shane. But I guess Shane got the pin out of the all effect. I guess his shoulder was over Miz's, and he got the 1, 2, 3. So again, being unconscious and all, McMahon ended up getting a pinfall win. I don't think this is the end of this feud. I think it'll go forward. Maybe another match on Money in the Bank pay-per-view, but we'll see how that goes as well. This is the part of the show where I took a bathroom break, or I went to get food or an alcoholic beverage. Now keep this in mind, nothing against these women here. Again, congrats to the Iconics, all the fuck you want. But me being real about it, I just didn't give a shit. I did not care for this match at all. I never did, nor will I ever. I am happy I did not get to watch this match in some regard. But it was the fatal four for the fatal four-way for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. The Iconics defeated the Boston Hug Connection, who were Bayley and Sasha, who were the current champs at that time. Nia Jax and Tamina and Beth Phoenix and Natalya. Bret Hart made an appearance during the Beth Phoenix and Natalya's entrance as well. So apparently Beth Phoenix hit a glam slam off the second rope on the Bayley and went for the pin, but the Iconics tossed her to the outside and stole it for themselves, basically. So you had the stealing the win moment there at WrestleMania, but the Iconics are now the WWE Tag Team Champions. I think in a way, I'm fine with it, because technically they are one of the few tag teams that are there. Granted, I would have done, I guess Mandy and Sonya if they were in that Battle Royal, but nonetheless, good for them, and let's see what happens here. And again, like I said before, for me, to me, the show was going good. Off the post, good match though. All right, peasy. But then we get one of the big matches as well. We get Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. Here's the thing about it too. I thought this match was phenomenal. It was great. One of the best matches of the show. All you want. My only critique is this, and take this for what it's worth. Where this match was placed on the show. Because I feel like after this match, nothing else cared. Nothing else mattered. I could have gone home after this match. Now, I'm not saying I'm not saying that this should have closed your show. Granted, it could have if you didn't have the women's main event, like you've been advertising for months and months and months. But I think this could have gone on later on in the show, just to get people back up again, if you will. Because I think, again, after this match was over, after Kofi won, nothing else mattered. Everything else after this just went into a complete nosedive, in my opinion. But the match, honestly, was a very good back and forth match. There were moments where Bryan had in the label lock and just had Kofi in all these submission attempts, and Kofi just didn't give up. People, again, were so invested in this, and it happened. And Kofi won after hitting Trouble in Paradise to become the new WWE Champion. After the match, the New Day revealed a new WWE Championship belt for Kofi, and they celebrated in the ring with Kofi's kids. I think overall, again, that moment, again, will just always, you always will remember the fact, hey, Kofi Kingston finally did. And I'll be real with you. If you would have told me a year ago, or if not, you know what? Back in January when they were doing the Royal Rumble, oh my God, Kofi Kingston will be in the WWE title match at WrestleMania, I would have not believed you. And yes, Kofi deserved it all the fuck you want, but let's just keep it real about it. Now that he has the belt, the moment already happened, where do you go from here? I mean, I at least want to see him have at least a 1 month title defense. Let him go into a pay-per-view. Let him go into a pay-per-view successfully defending the title before he drops the belt again. Because you know what's going to happen. Granted, when you think about it, yes, Kofi, this was not supposed to be his moment. He was, again, put in this moment because someone got hurt, that being Mustafa Ali, and he made the best out of it. And honestly, again, I thought the story suited Kofi more than Mustafa Ali. So I think, again, what WWE did here was a good move. But the question is, where do you go from here? What now? People are saying, oh, Big E will probably turn heel this Tuesday on SmackDown Live to start that program. Maybe you can. But I think, again, just the whole moment there of the New Day celebrating. And think about this, right? Think about this. I remember, I want to say, about 3 years ago or so, when the New Day became a thing, everyone, even myself, thought, oh my God, this shit wouldn't fucking work. This shit is a failure. It's not going to work. And look what happened. They became one of the top merch sellers in WWE. Bootios was a hit. And then the freaking, the Power Positivity, and they went from cereal to donuts and pancakes and shit like that. So again, they've made this work. And I gotta believe that all this would have not happened if they didn't form that trio, the New Day. So in a way, yes, Kofi wins, but it's also a win for Xavier, and it's also a win for Big E in a way as well. So again, I'm happy. It's a good moment. Everyone, there probably wasn't a dry eye in that stadium when that happened, myself included in some aspects. So there you go. Kofi Mania is finally here. He's now champion. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here. But again, I think with Kofi though, who knows really? Maybe now he'll be the underdog champion. We'll see. Kevin Nash and Scott Hall showed up as Colin Jost and Michael Shea's doctors for some reason. They tried to give them a rectal exam for the Battle Royal injuries. Some comedy skit, but it is what it is. We had Rey Mysterio get annihilated by Samoa Joe in like 30 seconds for the U.S. title. Mysterio was hurt, so I kind of understand why they did what they did, if you will. So that's fair enough. But again, it's just like, Samoa Joe deserves better, in my opinion. Happy that he won. He showed a dominance, but still he could have done way much better. We had Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. And here's the thing about this, okay? You guys know me. I'm a Roman fan all you want. But even I will say, okay, this is the part of the show where everything just took a giant fucking nosedive. Where it was going good until it hit this match. And then, and not, oh my God, the show sucked by any means at all. It just kind of declined a little bit. And Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, I kind of get the reason why Roman won. Oh my God, it's a good moment. He battled leukemia, he won, and here he won. Now he did it for his family. I'll be honest, I would have not had Roman win. I would have had him lose to Drew McIntyre. Drew had a special entrance for some reason, and Roman didn't. So again, there was that. Another thing too that really caught my attention, I don't know if you guys caught this or not, every champion came out first. Every single champion came out first. Which to me was kind of like, eh. I mean, I guess except Bryan, but every other champion came out first almost. But yeah, this match, to me, it just felt flat. It just felt completely flat. I don't think these two guys really have good chemistry together. It's crazy too because Drew McIntyre these past couple of weeks have been literally putting the boots to Roman and talking about, you can't beat me. You battled leukemia, you won, but you can't beat me, this and that. You should never came back. And now he's at WrestleMania, and Roman beats him like it's nothing. Roman beats him like he would have beat any other guy if Roman was champion right now. But that's just my honest opinion. But again, after this, the show took a nosedive. Now my question is too, where does Drew go from here? What do you do with Drew McIntyre? I asked that question. I have no idea. We had Elias, who attempted to perform a concert with two other pre-taped versions of himself, which I thought was pretty good. I thought, honestly, all right, awesome, great. Excuse me. And then we get interrupted by a video, I guess it's Babe Ruth, pointing where you're going to hit a home run, and out came the Doctor of Thugonomics version of John Cena. Not that one, but Word of Life, if you will. And here's the thing about it, too. It really pissed me off, too. Not the fact that segment Or not because, oh my God, he's not facing Angle in the, Angle's retired in the match. No. There is some fucking jerk job sitting in front of me. And throughout every single entrance, every single little detail, he took out his flip phone, right? His fucking smartphone, and started filming shit, either for his Instagram stories or his Snapchat, but fucking blocked the fucking view. And I get it. You know what? Hey, he's with his child, fine. But honestly, again, bruh, you're blocking my fucking view. Seriously. I just hate shit like that. Okay? I get it. Hey, you're having a fun time, but also be respectful of people whose view you're blocking when you get up or shit like that. But he's performing, so you can imagine this guy was just dancing and singing his old themes like he fucking knew it, like he studied the whole thing, like he was a proud member of the Chain Gang back in the day, whatever. So Cena comes out, insults Elias in verse, and then took him out with the five knuckle shuffle, and then hit not the AA but the FU, and there you go with that. Again, whatever. Again, honestly, I get it. People want something better for John Cena to do at WrestleMania. It feels like he did the same shit last year almost. But that's just that, in my opinion. We did get the no-holds-bar match between Triple H and Batista. And here's the funny thing about this. So Batista gets this Hollywood version entrance, right? He comes out in 2 cars. And I don't know if this caught on commentary or not. Okay? I'm sorry, on the network. But in the being there live in the stadium, the 2 cars had trouble getting their cars in reverse, tried to leave the stage. They had trouble, and it was a giant clusterfuck. So if you wondered why Batista's music played on for longer than it probably should have been played for, it's because, again, the 2 cars had trouble getting out of the stage area. They were both just caught in reverse, and they just couldn't decide who's going in and who's going out first. So it was hysterical. It was laughing, and Batista fucking busted his ass coming into the ring. They had to have Triple H come out also in a fucking bike. Because again, every year now, Triple H comes out into a motorbike, whatever, and that's fine. The match, for what it was, honestly, I'm not saying it was a bad match or, oh my God, but the match could have been way better, in my honest opinion. It was just a back and forth fight. They went for, I want to say, a move that didn't break the table, and it was that, of course. At the end of the match, Ric Flair came out and he called distraction, allowing Triple H to hit a running, jumping sledgehammer shot to Batista. And then he followed up with a pedigree to win the match. So Batista got what he wanted, but he didn't get the job done. So Triple H's career is still intact. By the way, I referenced the crowd. So during the Roman and Drew McIntyre match, I didn't mention this earlier, but the crowd seems very alive, not because of the match. And keep this in mind, I was there in the stadium when it happened. Okay? I guarantee you in the stadium, the crowd was silent. You could hear a pin drop in MetLife Stadium when Roman Reigns faced Drew McIntyre. And it might have came all oh my God, they're feeling electric. Nah, because there was a fight in the stadium during that match. So the fight itself took away from the match too. But during the match, you could hear a pin drop in MetLife Stadium. It was quiet as shit. We had apparently also the B team backstage in some skit. They modeled Bryan's t-shirts, and then Ron Simmons came out to remark, damn. We had Baron Corbin and Kurt Angle in Angle's retirement match. Now listen, believe it or not, I will commend WWE in one thing. And I will take my hat off, if I'm wearing a hat right now, for this one little thing. Okay? And hear me out. These fuckers actually stayed the course. Yes, I understand a lot of people did not want Baron Corbin to be Kurt Angle's final opponent, especially if Angle's retiring at WrestleMania. I understand that. I understand Baron Corbin is not someone I hope you will put out there. But you know what? Despite all this shit, All the crap that all the dorks on the internet complained and bitched about. There were talks that WWE might reconsider. Oh my God, we might bring in Cena. I'm actually, in some way, some aspects, I'm actually happy that WWE stayed the course with this, with having Baron Corbin and Kurt Angle. And listen, this match, by no means was it a 5-star classic. By no means at all, okay? But I will say this again, Angle looked good where he needed to look good. He hit the ankle lock multiple times. And I thought at some moments, oh my God, Angle was going to win. But no, didn't happen. Angle decided to do a moonsault off the top rope and missed. And then Baron Corbin capitalized and hit the end of days to win the match. So Baron Corbin got the win like I expected. And here's what pissed me off. Not the match, but the post-match. So Angle's retired. And how do you honor Kurt Angle on the way out? You have him grab the microphone and say, you know, I want you guys, he asked everyone basically to chant, "You suck" at him. But as he's leaving the arena, as he's leaving the ring, and they're playing his theme song. Not the way I would have done a send-off. I'm not saying, oh my God, do the exact same thing you did for Ric Flair at WrestleMania 24, but God damn it, yo. You mean to tell me you couldn't do a better, or you couldn't think of a better way to do a send-off for Kurt Angle post-match? Or a standing ovation, or thank you, Kurt, or something like that? I just hope, and again, right now, as we speak, it's 7:41 p.m. It's not even 8 p.m. yet. Raw's in 19 minutes from now. I hope, honest to God, that tonight on Monday Night Raw, they do a thank you Kurt Angle, something to honor Kurt Angle. I hope they do so, because honestly, last night was atrocious. It really, really was. In my honest opinion. Take it for what it's worth. We then had Finn Balor, the Demon, beat Bobby Lashley for the Intercontinental Championship with the coup de grace. Let's be real about it. Whenever Finn puts on that body paint, he has to win the match. So there you go. He's now Intercontinental Champion again. Okay, now what do you do from here? So tonight on Raw, he'll be the regular Finn Balor. I'm Balor Club, and it's for everyone. Woo, woo. Like a fucking idiot. Again, you know, it is what it is. What do you do? But there was that. Again, honestly, just don't expect Finn to lose whenever he puts on that body paint. We had Alexa Bliss announce that the attendance record was 82,265. Allegedly. I'm pretty sure we'll find out the real number somewhere in the next couple of weeks, but hey, we'll see what happens. And then she wanted Arthur the Carmella and to come out and do the world's biggest dance break. And yeah, again, I didn't care. We had after this the main event, the winner take all Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. Charlotte Flair had a special entrance where she came off from a helicopter, allegedly, and then made her way into the arena, into the stadium. There was that. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool, the idea of her coming off a chopper, what have you, even though that was probably taped or what have you hours ago or a day ago or so. And they had also this helicopter, as this is happening, flying around the stadium too. So there was that. Ronda Rousey had her own theme, had her theme song performed by Joan Jett, Bad Reputation, which I thought was pretty cool to hear live, if you will. And then Becky Lynch, who won the Royal Rumble, the man, had just a regular generic entrance that basically you would see on a SmackDown Live or on a Monday Night Raw. And here's the thing about it, okay? Yes, it's the first women's main event. Did the match live up to the hype? No. In my opinion, no. Was it the worst match I've seen? No. I thought the match was pretty okay for what it was. Did this match feel like, oh my God, it belonged in the main event of WrestleMania? The build on paper, yes. This match in particular, the way they did, no. Could they have done better? Absolutely. There was botches, yes. All over the place. And then you had the ending of the match. And basically, Rousey went for a Piper's pin on Lynch, but Lynch reversed it into a crucifix pin to win the match. And just that, to me, it just came off like a flat finish. A completely flat finish. Where you expected more. That's how I felt about it. I felt like I expected more from this match. Because again, if you're hyping this shit up to be, oh my god, for the first time ever, women are main eventing WrestleMania. Of all pay-per-views, WrestleMania, you need to fucking deliver. Hit it out of the park. And I'm not saying this match was a bad match at all. I just feel like, again, the finish fell flat. And there's a lot of botches in this match. And again, it's wrestling. You'll see botches everywhere. But let's keep it 100 right now. Do I see women main eventing next year? Absolutely not. I think, again, for women's wrestling, it's great. This is the pinnacle that you will ever reach. Now, where do you go from here? I don't fucking know. But Becky Lynch is now the champ. Conor McGregor early today on Twitter congratulated her. So that's good on that. And honestly, listen again, where do you go from here? I don't know. There's going to be a superstar shakeup next week. So only time will tell who's going to join the Raw or SmackDown brand. Apparently, the superstar shakeup will feature not just guys from Raw and SmackDown, men and women from SmackDown and Raw, but also from NXT and NXT UK and 205 Live. So hopefully, there's a big change up, if you will, starting next week. But overall, I thought, again, WrestleMania 35 being there live for the experience, I didn't hate it at all. I'll say this, though, okay? For me, being there, listen, and I'm going to say it again, I'll say it again. I think it's great that it came back to my backyard or again, this came being Jersey, all the fuck you want. But again, we should not be hosting a WrestleMania. We should not be hosting a fucking WrestleMania. It was too, again, it sucks when I have to come back to my apartment in New York that I rented for the weekend at 4 in the morning. And you know what? People will say it's an NJ Transit issue. People will say, oh, no, Steve, it's, it is. But nah, but listen, in all seriousness, WWE, can we please go back to the basics? WrestleMania does not need to be fucking 5 to 6 or 7 hours. No, I get it. A lot of dorks want a lot of wrestling. I get that. Guess what? It's WrestleMania fucking weekend. You have a shitload of wrestling events to go from Thursday all the way to Saturday or Sunday. Okay? A lot of shows. A lot of fucking shows. For instance, for me, on Thursday, I did MLW. On Friday, I did TakeOver New York. On Saturday, I did G1 Supercard, which I'll get into sometime this week. And yesterday, I did WrestleMania. So for people to say, oh, you want more wrestling? Well, guess what? There's a weekend, a plethora of shit for you to do that whole weekend. So again, I just wish that WWE for WrestleMania can just go back to the basics of being at least 3 to 4 hours. I don't need it to be 5 hours long. It doesn't need to be 12 something a.m. or 12:30 a.m. and the main event's happening. Nah, fuck that, fams. I'm sorry. This is why, again, I have 3 WrestleManias under my belt. Now, my hat trick. I can now, with no problem, say that I'm officially retired from WrestleMania trips. Unless something big happens, or you know what, maybe, just maybe, hey, when I have children, and if my children become wrestling fans, he or she, maybe I'll take my son or daughter to a WrestleMania. Not the whole weekend, just maybe that Mania Sunday. So they can get that, experience and all that fun stuff. But reading the comments here, again, you get to kicking ad in the comments, by the way. CPZ writes here, superplex on these pillows, haha. Good match, though. Leo Castellano writes here, I miss Taker so much. Yeah, it kind of felt weird without Taker. I'll say that, too. CPZ also, no one will care about him anymore, that being Kofi Kingston. Take Ryder, Rusev, and all those guys. Once they got to win the title, the fans stopped caring. Chauncey's in the building. Okay, what's up? Woo, one shoulder up, one shoulder down by Andre Corbeil. Triple H could have overturned his retirement at any time with his power within arrogant SOB not putting over Dave. What an arrogant SOB not putting over Dave. I mean, I think Dave also retired too, so I think that also, I guess, had an effect, because apparently on Twitter after he announced his retirement. So there you go with that. Baron Angle was the best match on the retirement tour, LOL. Also, fans talk about wanting fresh talent and guys getting a chance to get mad when a new guy gets a huge opportunity. That match was meh. CPZ right here, I could literally hear him calling the spots. Stacks right here. There has certainly been better women's matches throughout the women's evolution. That I can agree with as well. Apparently, the finish was botched. It wasn't meant to end like this at all. Like, I get that feeling too. CPZ writes here, the Becky hype will end soon. Brandon F writes here, fam, I saw you outside MSG before the show, but some random old guy was talking to me about wrestling. He wouldn't stop talking, so I couldn't break away. Glad you had fun, though. I only watched up to Kofi and Dragon match, but for what I saw, it was a good show. Apparently, Ronda is pissed. Maybe she wasn't meant to take the fall. I don't know. Yes, Becky was supposed to win, but not like that. I think, honestly, too, I don't know about that, because apparently also I heard Ronda had an injury prior to the match. Now, I'll say this as well. Listen, if she's hurt or not, we don't know. I just felt the finish was flat. I felt like, honestly, I thought the reason why they added Charlotte to the match was because, hey, she's going to take the fall in the triple threat match. But at the same time, too, you know what? By it being Ronda, I don't mind it either. Because guess what? Ronda's on her way out for a year or so. We don't know how long she'll be gone for. So you know what? If she's on her way out, then she did the honors. She took the pinfall. So there you go with that. And Brandon Bambi, again, it sucks that happened, but hopefully at an upcoming show, we'll meet up. Didn't Joe put over Ray in like a minute? I don't know about that, but I know Ray got choked out in a minute, but there's that as well. All right, guys, listen, it's 7:52 p.m. right now. I know Raw starts in a couple minutes, and I know you guys are so excited to see Raw after Mania and all that fun stuff. I know I am as well, to see who is going to appear, who's going to show up, and all that fun stuff. So thank you all for tuning in tonight, or tuning into the stream. I'll be back later on today for the Monday Night Raw review and to see what happens there and all that fun stuff. So if you're new to the channel, hit that sub button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up and share it through social media. I'll be back later today for the Raw review. Again, just because WrestleMania week is officially done, I still got all this shit to upload. I recorded part 1 and part 2 of the WrestleMania 35 weekend vlogs. I have part 3 and part 4 coming up this week. First with part 3 and then part 4 before the week ends. I also have to do a review for G1 Supercard. And also, again, the Raw and SmackDown review as usual. Alright, so Dorks, if you're not subbed to this channel, you hit that sub button down below. Give it a big old thumbs up and share it through social media. And as always, Dorks, it's me, it's Steve. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, y'all, I'm out like Janice Titties. Peace out, Dorks.